In the words of Hopper himself, let's end this, kid. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another Stranger Things video. Today, I'm doing a tier list. We got the official teaser trailer a few days ago, have had a couple of days to marinate on it, and so I've assembled a tier list of characters from that teaser trailer. I'm gonna be putting them into tiers based on how likely they are to die. That's right, this is an updated version of video that I did after the To Doom date announcement footage that we got, and I'll probably do it again after the official trailer, just to kind of use it as a benchmark to see where I'm at with characters living or dying in the final season, based on the new footage that we continue to get for this season. So I've got screenshots of the characters from this teaser trailer. I've got my tiers and I'm gonna dive in, but before I do, hit that like button, comment down below your death predictions for season 5 based on the official teaser trailer that we got last week, and of course, subscribe into that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. I mean, quite a bit. And if you want extra content from live streams to a deep dive into every episode of Stranger Things, or even a Stranger Things film and location vlog that I posted yesterday, Patreon is the place to be. Any support over there truly does mean the world. For $5 a month, it goes a very long way, and you gain access to lots of fun content over in that community. But without further ado, I say we dive into this tier list. All right, so the tiers I have are alive and well, meaning this character is going to be fine, should be safe, up in the air, which is kind of like a coin toss, not looking too good, and rip, which means I think this character is a goner. I've got most of the characters here. There's a few small characters I didn't include, notably one of the new kids that we see Mike jumping in front of to protect, but everyone else here, pretty much a main character outside of a few new introductions I'll get to in a second. But they're randomized. I've got my tiers. Let's get down to business. Here we go. First up is Lucas. This shot is of him in the teaser trailer where he looks like he might be in a tunnel. He's got blood on his shirt. He looks absolutely horrified at something. It's likely either Vecna or a Demogorgon based on just the footage we've seen. But could you imagine he is looking through a gate and actually sees Vecna's return? That would be insanity. I'm kind of up in the air on Lucas. I mean, the character's very clearly in peril. We also have another shot of him where he's like protecting Max in the hospital where she's still in a coma, but it looks like maybe Demodogs broke in and they're on the loose, and so he had to take her from the hospital bed. So he's like #1 caretaker. He would very likely put himself in harm's way to save Max. I still think big picture, Lucas is going to make it out of the season alive, right? I don't think they're going to kill him, but I can't say that as confidently as I once could. So I'm going to say up in the air for Lucas because he is going to be Max's protector all season. And he is very willing to put his life on the line to save her because there is a real deep love between those two characters. Moving on, though, we've got Robin. We get this shot of Robin in the teaser, clearly outside of WSQK radio station, looking up at the tower, and like the shadow monster form of the Mind Flayer is wrapping itself around that. So that's coming back into play in season 5. I don't think Robin's gonna die. There was really no shot of her that was a clear indicator, you know, she's a goner. We see her with Murray. We know they're gonna be driving that 18-wheeler, and sure enough, there is a Demogorgon that hops on it, but I feel like Robin should be safe. So I'm gonna put her in that tier right now. I think she should be safe based on what we've seen. Again, she was introduced to the fold in season 3, so I don't think they're going to kill her off just yet. I'm going to go ahead and say Robin should be safe. Also, Robin and Will, a new dynamic duo, could be the move. Next, we have a new character, Linda Hamilton. Her name's actually Dr. K. I don't know what role she's going to play, but she's very clearly involved with the military base, as we see her walking in with the red lights flashing. The thing about Stranger Things is you introduce a new character this late in the game, there's no reason to keep them around forever. This is the final season. I'm going to say this character is probably going to die, and I'm pretty confident, based on where she's at, she's probably going to be one of those Dr. Brenner types who's hell-bent on maybe finding 11 and just really misconstruing the actual situation, not having all the information on the upside down, the gate that opens up, and so she might be your stereotypical government character who's out of the loop but has like a power trip and thinks they know it all. I'm gonna say rip. I can see this character getting taken out by Vecna or the Demogorgon, and yeah, RIP. Next we got Max, who we get more shots of in this teaser. She's very clearly still in the coma, but we have that shot of her out of the hospital bed finally, but she still looks unconscious, very well in a coma still. Lucas is right there with her. I'm gonna say with Max, it's not looking too good. We haven't seen her awake yet. Obviously, they wouldn't want to reveal that in marketing, just because that is gonna be such a huge moment. I imagine like a moment that ends an episode. So I'm gonna say not looking too good. I'm not gonna say outright rip. Max already died, and so to bring her back and kill her again would maybe be too cruel even for the Duffers, who we know do some sick and twisted shit. it's just not looking too good right now. I can't confidently say she's going to be fine, so I'm going to go not looking too good based on this further footage that we have. Moving on, we've got Murray the Bald Eagle Bauman, maybe the most underrated character in the show. Very hilarious screen presence. When it comes to this character, though, he's driving around this Bradley's Big Buy truck with Robin. He's undercover as someone named Austin. We're going to get some hilarious bits out of the character, but I've always kind of been on the train that Murray's killable, right? If they want to assert the stakes of the season and make it feel final, you know, end of the world type stuff, end of Hawkins at least, you gotta have some people fall victim to Vecna and die. And there has to be not an insane body count with deaths, but someone has to go. I always quote National Treasure, and people are probably like, what are you talking about? Someone's got to go to prison, Ben. And I'm thinking Murray's one of them. I just don't feel too great about it. We see this shot of the Demogorgon jumping on the back of the truck that we know Murray's going to be driving with Robin there as well. I could also see Murray, you know, having the sacrifice play to save Robin or others. He's a very killable character. And I don't mean that because I don't like him. I just think that he's someone that could die to show how legit the stakes are. So I'm going to say RIP to Murray. And I know that we haven't seen a ton of him. We only see him really driving this truck. He could be an early season death. Now, I know Murray isn't someone who's going to be out here with all the shots in the trailers, but I think RIP to Murray. I'm going to put him right here because I think Linda Hamilton's character probably going to be more likely to die. Next, we got Will Byers. I remember when the Doom date announcement dropped, the moment that broke the internet, the moment that was the talk of the town was Will looking up yelling run. In this new footage, he looks like he's in even more danger. So call me crazy, I'm just assessing what we've been given. I don't feel good about Will right now. It's kind of a coin toss between Will and 11. I have been of the opinion that 11 is not safe. We'll get to 11 later, but when it comes to Will, I mean, shot after shot in this trailer, the man looks like he's in some serious pain. He's fighting some demons. He very well is going to rediscover that he has powers or discover powers for the first time. But if you look at this shot of him running around the upside down, it looks like he's got powers. So I'm thinking maybe he had some sort of mental block, and throughout the course of the season, he's going to rediscover those powers that he once had, as well as a connection to Vecna. So when it comes down to it, Will Byers, certainly not alive and well, certainly not safe, not even up in the air. He's either not looking too good or RIP. And I lean RIP right now based on what we've seen. This shot right here, it looks like he's getting straight up Vecna'd. There's one shot of him collapsing, another where he looks like he's exerted himself, or maybe because he's got powers and is so deeply connected to the Upside Down, he's getting hurt as others are hurting Vecna and the other creatures because he is a part of the hive mind. So there's so much to process here. I just don't feel comfortable putting Will too high. I'm not saying they're going to kill Will in 11, but based on what we've seen, guys, I gotta put him in RIP. There's two pieces of marketing now, the Doom date announcement and the official teaser trailer, where Will is in the spotlight and he looks like he is in some serious trouble. So I'm going RIP with Will. I'm actually gonna put him at the back. I think that of the characters down there, he's probably the most likely to go as of this very moment. So it's a bummer.
It's really Will.
Next, we've got Nancy Wheeler. We get multiple shots of her in this teaser. One that's really distressing is when she's washing blood off her hands. So that kind of has me thinking Nancy's going to be okay, but someone near and dear to her is going to bite the dust. Will that be Jonathan? Will that be her mom? Will that be Steve? We'll find out, and I'll obviously get to that later in this video. Based on what we've seen for Nancy, I'm going up in the air. I'm going to put her right here. She's in distress. We see her, you know, pumping that shotgun, but she's got blood on her hands, guys. We get a couple shots of her with Jonathan. What if she's, you know, washing Jonathan's blood off her hand? What if it's Karen or Holly after they get attacked by Vecna or Demogorgon? Because we see this shot later on of Nancy and 11 pulling up at what looks like the Wheeler house. What if she saves the day, but is a little too late at the same time and loses her mother, loses her sister? There's a lot of theories here, but I'm up in the air on Nancy because I do think she's a character they could kill, right? One of the older kids, as I call them, probably going to end up paying the price and dying, but Nancy I'm more up in the air on than some of the others, so I'll put her there for now. Next, we got Dusty Bun, Dustin. There are multiple shots of Dustin here that just made me feel sad. He's visiting Eddie's grave. There's a shot of him crying as Steve embraces him. To me, it seems like Dustin's suffering in terms of trauma and grief is only just beginning, which is so effed up to say, but it really is painting the picture, the teaser trailer, that he's gonna lose someone near and dear to him yet again. Now, there are a couple different ways to interpret that shot of him hugging and embracing Steve. One, that could be a moment where they just lost a near and dear friend, and so the older brother figure in Steve is embracing and comforting Dustin. But the other way to interpret that would be, and this is the darker route, Steve is about to leave and make a sacrifice play, and that's their final moment together, their final embrace as brothers. Either way, it's very depressing, and I'm not excited for whatever it entails, but I'm leaning that Dustin should be safe. And I know we see him with bruises. He's probably going to get beat up because he's visiting Eddie's grave, and people are going to call him a freak for wearing a Hellfire shirt still. But I'm pretty confident Dustin is going to make it out alive. I'm going to put him at the top of should be safe over Robin even, because I just don't think, I think it'd be way too dark and cruel to kill him after all the trauma he's had to endure, especially last season. But what if they say, hey, you guys were so comfortable in Dustin living, we're actually going to throw a wrench in this whole thing and kill him off? There are a lot of ways they could go, but I'm thinking he should be safe, just because he already dealt with the death of Eddie. Next, we've got Vecna himself. Found you. What a great line. What a great teaser trailer this is. Found you. When it comes to this Vecna redesign, it's sick. In fact, when I was watching it, it looks like his tendrils and like his body is moving comparable to that of Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, how big is Vecna gonna end up being able to grow to? We don't see his face, but if you zoom in on the poster, he's got like horns. He might be missing an eye. In this shot at the end of the teaser, it looks like he's actually deflecting the flames from a flamethrower, so his powers have increased tenfold. The man's gonna be an absolute unit and a problem for Hawkins and our main heroes. However, I don't see a world where Vecna gets out alive. I think that this show will have to end with Vecna's death, his ultimate demise. I don't know if that means Will takes him down or 11 or both, but I am going to say rip. I'm going to put him right here because I think he is very likely to die, but still, that doesn't mean he can't kill and kick some ass en route to death. So he is going to die, and I'm confident in that. He's going to inflict some serious damage on our main characters first. Next, we have Steve the Hare Harrington, the babysitter, my man. You know, we all love him. We all love him. Him and Hopper, my favorite characters in the show. I'm kind of turning on this whole Steve dying theory. Like, for a while there, I just felt like it was inevitable, right? Steve was a goner. It was always Steve. He was doomed because he's always the hero. He's always, you know, putting himself in harm's way over those around him. Look at, you know, the dive. He's the first one to dive down and go through the gate at Lover's Lake, and then there's the whole cliffhanger ending of him getting tied up and what seemed like eaten by demobats. And so they love, and by they I mean the Duffers and company, they love to play with Steve and play with our emotions with the character more specifically. But I feel like season 4 might have been the window to kill him, and he's almost become such a fan favorite, such a popular character, that they can't even afford to kill him now. So I've had this weird change of heart. In fact, most Stranger Things trailers and in the past shows Steve in like some serious life-threatening situation, screaming. I believe in the season 3 trailers, we show him, you know, getting tortured by the Russians. And last season, we see him, you know, diving through the gate, and there's like a shot of him in the upside down. So he's usually in trouble in the trailers. And from what we've seen, I'm not getting that vibe. I think Steve might actually be safe. Now, maybe they're trying to lure us into this sense of comfortability. Oh, Steve will be fine. And then boom, gotcha. I hope that's not the case. I'm weirdly gonna say Steve should be safe. I'm gonna put him right here, actually. At the back of Should Be Safe, which is strange. I know, it's weird to even say this, because it feels like wrong, but something about it, guys. I'm getting a vibe that Steve's gonna make it out of this thing. Next, we've got Holly Wheeler. This is a new shot of her from the teaser, where she's wearing a new attire we haven't actually seen. And so I'm like, is this pre or post vanishing? Because we've all kind of deduced that Holly is gonna be the one to vanish in the second episode, but when is this? And when will Holly actually be hanging out with the gang? I don't know. It's hard to read the timeline of the season as of right now, based on what we've seen, but when it comes down to this shot, I'm gonna say Holly's up in the air, right? I'm gonna put her right in the middle of up in the air. She is very clearly under attack at some point. There's a shot of her and Karen like in a bathtub. In the To Doom date announcement, we see them backing into a corner, likely a Demogorgon, but more likely even Vecna pulling up on the Wheeler house, because we know in Nancy's dream that the Wheeler family is not safe, right? In season 4, they kind of made it clear the Wheeler family, they might be hunted in season 5 by Vecna. So lots up in the air there. That's why I'm putting this character in up in the air. If she's the one vanishing, that automatically puts her in some sense of danger. Next, we've got Erica Sinclair. Very quick glimpse of her in the teaser trailer. She has a syringe. I don't know why. My assumption would be maybe to try and use it on a Demogorgon or a Demodog. That's the only real reason that I can think of, but I'm gonna say Erica's alive and well. Of all the characters, I think Erica is the most safe. And I've kind of felt this way for a while, right? The younger sister of Lucas, I just think she's going to be taking a back seat. She's going to be in the back of the line in terms of like harm's way. She's going to have a lot of other characters in front of her often to protect her. I'm going alive and well for Erica. I just think she's going to be all right. I got a feeling she's going to make it out of this thing okay at the end. So I'm going alive and well. Haven't seen enough of her for me to warrant thinking she's going to die. Now, maybe you could flip that and say, oh, now, we haven't seen a lot of Erica, so she could die, but Lucas is going to protect her, and everyone else around there is going to make sure she's okay. Now, next we have Karen Wheeler, a character who is very much in harm's way, very much in danger. She is in this bathtub with Holly. We see the shot of her in the To Doom date announcement with Holly, and a mother is going to do anything in their power to protect their child, especially their daughter. I'm looking at this, I'm going, if Karen and Holly are under attack, Karen's going to throw herself in front of Holly 10 out of 10 times. So that puts her in way more of harm's way and has a potential for death than Holly. So with this character, I'm going to say not looking too good. I'm going to go right here because I think Max probably closer to Rip than Karen, because Max is already in a coma and we haven't seen any sign of life from her really. So Regardless, it doesn't matter because Karen's not safe. She's not looking too good. That's not a guarantee she's gonna die, but she's probably going to obtain some sort of wound. So yeah, Karen Wheeler, not looking too good.
I'm Nancy's mother.
Next, we have Joyce Byers, who is not safe. I know that she's the mother. I know that she's out there to protect Will and Jonathan, but that's my point, right? She is going to do whatever it takes to protect her two sons, and she's really proven that throughout the seasons. This shot of her, it seems like she's looking at an injured or passed out Will. That is also going to be the same scene where Vecna rips through that gate, it looks like, so she's directly near Vecna. This is probably the closest to death Joyce will come is in this season. And so I'm going to say, shoot, up in the air for Joyce. I'll go like right here, maybe? Actually, I think Holly, no, I'd say right here. Because with Holly and Nancy, they're closer, not looking too good. Joyce a little closer to the up in the air should be safe side, so that's about right. Next, we got Jonathan Byers, and ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna like what I have to say, especially if you're a Janty fan. Jonathan Byers being framed by the marketing thus far to be the big death of the season, or one of them, I should say. We get a voiceover from Jonathan, and then we see a shot of him with Nancy. He's basically talking about how all of this has tied them together for life. We don't get much else from Jonathan. We know Nancy's washing blood off her hands. Is Jonathan going to die? One route they could take is the shot of Steve embracing Dustin is actually because Jonathan just died. Steve would have to be like, we gotta go, like, I know it's sad, but we gotta dip. I don't know what's going on. Nancy has the shotgun next to Jonathan. Maybe she's trying her best to protect him, but I also at the same time look at this and I go, maybe Jonathan Byers is the red herring of the trailer, of the marketing, where they're trying to make it seem like he's gonna die. He's not in a ton of shots. He has a voiceover. They want to make us think it's gonna be him, but it's a misdirect and it's actually Nancy or it's actually Steve. Regardless, I think one of those older kids might end up biting the dust. I'm gonna put Jonathan in Rip though, guys. Based on what we've seen, we got none of him in the Doom Data announcement. He was one of the few characters of major prominence with no screen time. He didn't have a lot here either, and he had a voiceover that was very final exchange between Nancy type stuff. So I'm going Rip, and honestly, I'm going right here in Rip. I think that Will and Vecna have a higher likelihood of dying, but I'm not feeling great about Jonathan right now. Next, we have Hopper. We see him launching grenades here. He's right alongside 11. He's going to be in the thick of it, but at the end of the day, he's going to probably make it out because he already died at the end of season 3. I think that, you know, he should be safe. I'm not going to say he's alive and well. I'm going to put him like right here probably. I'd say Hopper damn near. I think Dustin's got a better chance of living, but Hopper's close to the top of just outright being alive and well, because killing him at this point would be too far, right? I mean, you already killed him. You've given him this arc where it seems like survival would make the most sense. Still, he's going to be right alongside 11, right in the thick of it. He's getting shot at, for Christ's sake, in one of the trailers, so he's launching grenades. Hopper's going to be in danger, but he should be safe at the end of it all. Next, we got this new character. Alex Bro is the actor, and I believe he's playing Lieutenant Akers, a new character who's probably going to be killed, right? You don't bring in new characters in season 5 to let him have some sort of happy ending, right? He's probably going to die just like Linda Hamilton, so I'm going to put him right here, honestly. Pretty much here, I'd say this, a new military character, very likely to die at the hands of Vecna, so I'd say of all these characters, that one's the most likely to go. Then we got 11, and guys, you won't like this either. From what we've seen, I'm not feeling great about 11. We get a moment of her, like, taking flight almost, like she's doing a damn training montage. Her powers have definitely enhanced, but I do believe 11 could go out with Vecna, and that would eradicate the entire Upside Down. It's a theory, a train I've kind of been on for a while now. And so I'm going to say for 11, based on the teaser trailer, I'm feeling Rip. I'm going to go like right here. I think Will seems to be in more danger. To be honest, Jonathan, I'll actually go over her. So I think Jonathan and Will, the brothers, don't look safe. Vecna, and then of course this new guy is probably gonna die, but I'm not feeling good about anyone in that bottom tier. I'm thinking death is very possible for all of them, and I'm more like flip a coin between 11 and Will. Just because everyone's down here doesn't mean I think they're 100% gonna die, but based on what we've seen, Rip, maybe, guys. And the final character here is Mike Wheeler. We get a shot of Mike looking at what seems to be Vecna coming out of that gate at the library in downtown Hawkins. So he is going to be directly in front of Vecna, looking at Vecna come out. It's gonna be nuts. I'm gonna say Mike's up in the air right next to Lucas. I think both those characters are OG main kids of the party, so they're probably gonna get out of this thing. But Mike and Lucas are right in the thick of it. They're, you know, going into town on these bikes. They're part of enacting these plans, the burn. I mean, there's a lot to take in here, and both those characters I feel like are a little more up in the air than, like, say, Dustin, who's probably the safest of them all, but no one is safe. This is the final season. They could kill every single character on this tier list because it's the last season. They don't have to save him for anything else. This is the end, and to quote Hopper, let's end this, kid. But that is it for my tier list ranking of the characters from the Stranger Things Season 5 teaser trailer based on how likely I think they are to die, my death predictions based on the teaser, if you will. But what tiers would you place these characters in? Let me know down below, and of course hit that like button. And if you want to fill out your own tier list, I will link it down below. Fill it out, screenshot it, tag me on Instagram. I'll repost it to my story. And go follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Got lots of exclusive content over there, like photo dumps from the recent filming locations vlog, which, by the way, full vlog on Patreon right now. Go join that community to check that out. But that's going to do it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. But I appreciate you guys for watching. And until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.